Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to the Dear Love Podcast. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Listen Notes, Google Music, Podbean, all that good stuff. You already know how this go. Let's get right into it. We just released a skit on YouTube called I Am Not Eating That. Go ahead and check it out on the TS Media page. Trying to do a little something different. We got Talk That Talk on the way. We got Be Yourself on the way. Still kind of writing the Bethune High story. And definitely working on the Welcome to the Life documentary. So again, it's a lot of stuff going on. I see why it be taking so long, like for people to release their audio books and movies and stuff like that, because I'm working on a actual movie that I'm doing right now, and that stuff not easy. I see why it takes a lot of time with those things. So I just wanted to get that out the way before we get started. So, like I said before, let's get right into it. I suffer from a disease, a very serious disease I think a lot of people also suffer from, and it's called no matter what, I gotta have it. You ever took a chance, like let's say you went and bought something that you wanted overpaying a bill? I've done that a whole lot. Like I used to always wait on my rent. When I first moved into my place, I paid rent, but it was times like, let's say a new system came out or a new type of game, and I was like, oh, it's okay to be short a couple dollars on the rent. I'm gonna just go ahead and get this. And I always learned something from that stuff, because when I would buy all of these things, or let's say I had a whole lot of money left over from a check, and people would always ask me, like my cousins or my uncles or something, like, what do you have to show for it? Never really understood what that meant until I got a little bit older. Like, yeah, you can have all of that money and stuff, but if you ain't got nothing to show for it at the end of the day, then it's not worth it. Prime example, I used to always have to have the newest game out. I had to have it. So I would spend so much money on new games, and it got to the point where it was kind of messed up, because once I, like, my attention span wasn't always the greatest. So like once it came to a point where something newer had came out, I tossed it to the curb. And henceforth, you have a wall full of games and you don't even play them. Same with shoes. You gotta have, like, I swear they release the same J's every 2 days. You would buy all these J's, and then the new ones come out, and then you just toss the other ones to the back burner. It's like everything is new until it's old. Dear Love, episode 60. Yeah, I was a sucker for that, man. Always gotta have the newest stuff. And I swear that's a disease. It's like, it's not that serious to have every single thing new that comes out. It's like you gotta have. Like I said, especially with games. So like if the new Mortal Kombat came out, oh, I gotta have it. Granted, the new Mortal Kombat did come out. I played it the first day it came out, and then, yeah, it's sitting there. I guess my thing is, I guess I can play it whenever I feel like it. Or maybe it just, maybe I feel like it's cool to just look at it to say that I have it. I don't really know why I do that. But again, it's always new until it's old. And everything is like that. So back in the day, I had a friend. It was a lady friend that I went to school with. We was real cool. And like, we were the best of friends. I swear nothing could separate us. Until I met my other friend. I always tell people, like, people be like, I'm good. Yeah, you always good until you bad. And that's how I really look at it. Because we were friends. We did everything together. And then once the next friend came along, it was like, all right, I'm pretty much done with you. It's like, damn, I thought we was better than what we were. Or having a friend for X amount of years, let's say 3 years, 4 years, and then somebody come along and they just steal you right away. If you think about it, relationships is like that. You in a relationship forever, y'all make so many false promises to each other. Ladies, gentlemen, please stop making these false promises if you don't believe it yourself. You know how many times I done heard, I will never be with nobody else. I will never talk to nobody else. Yeah, you will never talk to nobody until you talk to somebody. And you got to look at it like that. It feels good when you in the relationship and all of that, but eventually you do find something new. We've all been in love before. Some of us are in love with the same person, our first love, and some of us are not. It's just like having kids. You know, I'm sure some of us were in love with the son's mother or the daughter's mother or however it go. And it came to a point where you met somebody else. So yeah, it's good until it's bad. And I suffered from that a lot. Like I said, I had a lot of females, man, that was like real cool that we not even cool no more. Whether it be time separated us or just hell, met somebody new, met somebody that was cooler than me. You always the best basketball player until somebody else come along. Once you accept those factors though, it's all right. It gets better, I guess. They always say, you know, wisdom is the best thing to have. And I'm starting to realize that older I get, I be like, yeah, but I'm a lot smarter than you new folks. And I see all the mistakes that they make. And now I just sit back and laugh because I used to do the same stuff. Y'all like the new class. You know, we the older ones now. Some of us didn't think we'd ever have to get to this age where we saying we old, but we're getting there. And you want to know the cure for the, I guess, getting old situation or renewing things? Think about all of the movies that have came out with virtual reality attached to it. How you can be a totally different person going in. That's very important to know. Think about how much time it takes to make those type of things. And I'm a victim of it. You know, I bought the virtual reality games. I bought the PSVR when it came out. I bought the Oculus Go when it came out. It really is like a different world for you. It makes you feel different. And it's kind of scary, actually. Could you imagine if the world was set up like virtual reality? It's not real. Or the minute that danger happens or you get bullied or somebody talks about you, you could just change it just like that. I'm telling you, it's new until it's old. I could never imagine the things that's happening now. It used to be a time where you had to go to, you know, Toys R Us and hell, the parks or the arcade to play these virtual reality type things. And now they're in your home. You can be a totally different person, a brand new person, and have no issues, no problems. To me, that's very scary. I feel like you lose your identity just a little bit. I'm not a roller coaster rider at all. I'm very, very scared of roller coasters. But I put on a headset and all of a sudden I'm riding on a roller coaster. Imagine not having enough money to go to SeaWorld or not having enough money to go to Kings Island. What if somebody built it for you? Hey, put this headset on, it's just like you there. You hear the sounds of the ocean if you've never been to the beach. Now you're at the beach, or now you're underwater for the first time. I guarantee that's what the world is going to move into. And the old stuff is going to be real life. And I know that sounds funny. I always talk about robots on this podcast, but I'm telling you, that will be the new world order to me. Virtual reality, putting on the headset. I feel like you're going to have to put that on to go to work. I just think it's going to be a totally different world. Some for the good, some for the bad. Like I said, can you imagine not being able to go to space or what it feels like to ride on a plane if you've never been on a plane? Now you can experience that. That's very scary. Or hell, even watching TV. You never been to an NBA game before? Now you're courtside at the NBA game. And the reason I'm bringing this up, I know it seems off topic, but I'm just saying it's new until it's old, because the old way would be, a prime example. We used to love watching TV. And now the prices of the TVs are so low, it's ridiculous. You wouldn't even think that it's real. Want to know why? Because the new thing is typing on these phones. We can watch TV on our phones. Now I guarantee it's going to get to a point where everybody's just going to have headsets on. I was just telling my cousin how in the Oculus headset, you can actually be at the movie theater. And if somebody else has a headset with their avatar, you can see them at the movie theater too. Like, that's scary. Now I guarantee that's a new way to sell movies. Instead of going out to the movie theater, just attach it to your VR system, and now you can watch the movie as if you're sitting at the movie theater. Isn't that scary? Think about the old way of how we got report cards back in the day, how we would try to hide it from our parents or rip it up and hope that the teacher doesn't call. Like, all that stuff is online now. So even if they do send something home, they can still go online. I remember I asked one of my employees what they were doing, and they were looking at some type of camera thing on their phone. They're like, oh, this is the website to watch to see how your kid doing in school. I'm like, what? So you actually got cameras in the classrooms and different, like, it's a new era. When I was in high school, they weren't giving out laptops to every student. Now every student has a laptop, a personal laptop to take home to get their homework done. Because again, now it's like less paper, so everything is kind of done online. Like, that is crazy. It's going to get to a point where they're not even going to need the laptop. They're going to have a VR headset on their head. It's going to be a teacher that they didn't build. And that's what it's going to be. And that's how they're going to go about it. I guarantee it. It might not be in my lifetime, but it will be a time where they'll use those headsets for everything, more than just games or more than just experiences. I mean, you got the roller coasters in real life. They got the cameras on them, so they can put them on like these VR headsets and stuff. Me and my cousin was just talking about a game we was playing on there called Face Your Fears. If you're scared of spiders, this is a way to like get over it. Like, it's so much stuff on those things. So you can imagine what would happen. But just remember, it's always new until it's old. And that goes for everything in life. So keep it as new as you can. I guess that's basically what I'm trying to say. Dear Love T. Shaw, I'm out of here.